100 shirts for only $395. 20 shirts for only $100. Greenleaf Printing and Designs has stupendous signage, printed and embroidered apparel, and promotional products for you. They're at 5526 Burkhart Road in Dayton and on the web at greenleafprinting.com.
Second reading, emergency resolution number 5857-11, accepting the Welcome Dayton Plan. Mayor Lightsoe.
Aye.
Commissioners Lovelace.
Aye.
Joseph.
Aye.
Whaley. Aye.
4-0. How did it make you feel?
Oh, very good. I've been part of this advocacy, and we have been engaging the city officials about welcoming immigrants and refugees. We particularly want to create this culture of hospitality in our city. We work with the faith community, especially to receive refugees from Africa and to integrate them in the city and make a contribution to our community.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say?
I would like to say that we will continue to work with the city to make it happen, to implement the plan, and we are going to mobilize our communities to invest, to start micro-enterprises, self-employment, and also to share our cultural values.
Do you think Dayton's just about set to get a whole lot more interesting?
Yes, I believe, divisions don't make sense anywhere. So diversity is strength. And we welcome this plan because it opens doors. Yeah. Globalization is here to stay, and we need to be a global city.
Things have changed. We're about a global economy, right? We have to compete on a global basis. All leading cities of great wealth, cities of great culture, all have great diversity in terms of citizens, residents, culture, and Dayton has taken a major step forward. It's implemented what I think is the best practice as it relates to immigrants, refugees, so I'm proud.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say?
That's it. There's a lot of benefit beyond the culture. I think one of the big benefits, which hasn't been touted as much as it will, that I'm actually involved in, is the economic development, the business development, entrepreneurship, and the job creation. Stay tuned. You'll hear more about it.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Good evening. It's Jamie Longazell, 933 Citation Avenue. I'm a new resident here at Dayton and a professor of sociology at the University of Dayton. I decided to say a few words this evening, given my unique perspective of someone who's studied local immigration politics and as someone who is new to the community and still in the process of forming a first impression of it. Prior to arriving in Dayton, I conducted a large-scale study of the politics surrounding Hazleton, Pennsylvania's passage of the Illegal Immigration Relief Act, an ordinance that sought to punish landlords and businesses who hired to or rented to undocumented immigrants. As one walks through Hazleton, a small city of about 40,000 in northeastern Pennsylvania, one sees rows upon rows of empty storefronts, abandoned historical buildings that were once the pride of the city, and an utter absence of once readily available, decent-paying manufacturing jobs. The primary complaint in Hazleton was that undocumented immigrants had caused a number of harms. But as I dug deeper and spoke with more and more residents, I soon discovered not only that this wasn't true, but also that the biggest concern of the residents had little or nothing to do with immigration or immigration law per se, but rather I merely found that immigrants were a convenient scapegoat for these folks, a group they could project their economic anxieties and fears upon. This was back in 2006. What's happened in Hazleton since? Well, there's still a line of empty storefronts, historical buildings are still vacant, manufacturing jobs still haven't come back. In short, the ordinance did little to help and a lot to hurt. Many of the Latino migrants who were pumping new life into the city left town, angered by the city's position. Of those who stayed, substantial burdens and barriers continued to stand in their way of making a good life in the city. Hazleton missed an opportunity. Rather than working together to bring the city back to life, resentment tore the community apart. It split it at its core. So here I am in Dayton, a place that has its own share of empty storefronts, abandoned historical buildings, and the utter absence of manufacturing jobs that were once readily available. Those things aside, I've been impressed with the spirit I've felt here in Dayton. As a newcomer, I feel a real sense of resiliency, persistence, creativity, and a desire to overcome hard times. This attitude is apparent from those who are working on environmental and sustainability issues. It's apparent from those who are working to revitalize historical buildings, homes, and neighborhoods. And in my opinion, this attitude is apparent in the Welcome Dayton initiative we are discussing today. To me, the proposal is a way of saying we aren't going to split in half and divide because of tough times. Rather, we're going to stick together, be resilient, and figure out a practical, just, and most importantly, inclusive way of moving the city forward. So, on that, I speak in support of the Welcome Dayton Initiative. Thank you.
Thank you.
Organizations. The plan was conceived out of the necessity to support foreign-born citizens who want to succeed in the Dayton region. Our universities, hospitals, and tech industries are recruiting to fill highly skilled positions. The Welcome Dayton Plan was formulated to help Dayton become a global city by attracting the best and the brightest. This plan is designed to enhance the potential of Dayton as a competitor in the global economy by attracting immigrants who bring new ideas, new perspective, and new talent to our workforce. In order to reverse the decades-long trend of economic decline in the city, we need to think globally and recruit the very best from around the world. This is not about harboring illegal immigrants or drawing illegal immigrants into Dayton. We understand there are problems with people entering the U.S. illegally. The Welcome Dayton Plan leaves federal immigration law enforcement to the feds and instead focuses on making our community one that treats all people kindly, fairly, and humanely. If you are an illegal immigrant, you will be subjected to the same federal laws as anyone else. My office has received several phone calls and emails from citizens who are completely misreading what is really contained within the plan. If you have not fully read it, then I suggest you do before you openly criticize it. This is a living document that directs policy. With it, we are committed to facilitating the successful integration of foreign-born residents and their children to be productive citizens of the city of Dayton. Failure to do this would only hinder Dayton's economic recovery. History has demonstrated that cities that embrace all people and cultures thrive until one culture deems itself better. It is then that they fail. Byzantium outlasted Rome by 500 years and became Constantinople. Cordoba in Spain flourished during the occupation by the Moors because the leadership there ignored religious differences. We could also look towards successful centers of learning such as Baghdad and even Timbuktu. History proves that closed minds and resistance to change only results in failure. To those citizens who are against the Welcome Dayton Plan, instead of condemning something that you didn't participate in, volunteer to help us make it better.